it's me.
Yes, hello, it is me. It's Mr. Webb. How are you? It is Thursday, November 19th, and these are your bell ringer answers. So, strap on in, get ready for the ride. All right, question number 13. We need to find the mean of 60, 75, 88, and 93. And you'll notice I'm going to start underlining very important words. I'm not going to circle these numbers because that's all there are for the rest of the problem, but usually I will circle numbers as well. So, find the mean of 60, 75, 88, and 93. Alright, so let's go on over. So I know I'm going to be doing something with these numbers, but I'm not exactly sure what I should be doing. But wait a minute, if I'm finding the mean, that means that I have to be finding the average. The only way to find the average is I must add up these numbers, and then I will do something with them after that. So let's add these up first. All right. So let's see here. 5 plus 8, that would give me 13. 14, 15, 16. 6, 7, plus 7 more is 14. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. So that gets me 316. Oops, excuse me. 316. So then I must take the answer to that addition problem, so 316, and then I have to divide it by the amount of numbers that there are. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because I'm trying to get the average of these. Let's say they were test scores. I'm trying to get the average of these scores. So I take this number, the answer, 316, and then I'm going to divide it by all 4 of the scores to see what they would be if I average them out. Okay, so I know that 4 cannot go into 3. Nothing times 4 will get me 3 because it's too small. So I'm trying to look at 4 and 31. And I know that 7 times 4 gets me 28. And that's really close. So I'm going to go ahead and use that. All right, 8 is too small to subtract from 1. So I must borrow from my 3, make that a 2. Pass 1 down. So I have an 11. 11, 10, 9, 8. So that's going to give me 3. Bring my 6 down. Then I'm trying to see how many times 4 can go into 36, or what times 4 gets me close to 36. And I actually know that 9 times 4 gets me 36 on the dot. Oops. And that's going to give me a 0 there. So the answer to this problem, the average or the mean of those numbers, is 79. So if these were somebody's test scores, you would end up with a 79 as your final grade, which would be just below mastery. Just below mastery. So that would be a P. All right, number 14. How many pounds are in 6 tons? How many pounds are in 6 tons? Notice I underlined the word pounds, tons, and I circled the number 6 because 6, as I said, is the number. All right, so you have to know first what 1 ton equals. And 1 ton equals 2,000 pounds. So then I can take that number 2,000, and I need to know what 6 tons would be. I'm going to do things a little bit differently, and I'm going to set it up like a ratio this time. And the reason why I'm doing that is, as you'll notice, ratios look like fractions. So, and I did that wrong, excuse me. 1 ton equals 2,000 pounds. So I'm going to put that 1 ton over 2,000 pounds. 1 ton equals 2,000 pounds, so I'm going to put it over that, which is equivalent to 6 tons equaling how many pounds? Well, now we just do a cross multiplication here between these two guys and these two guys. And I know that 6 times 2,000 is actually going to give me 12,000 pounds. 12,000 pounds are in 6 tons. All right. Number 15. Jennifer bought 5 tickets to the art show. Each ticket cost $4.25. How much did Jennifer spend on the tickets? I'm going to underline this word each because it is very important, and I'm going to circle this number right here. My paper's kind of wobbling on me. Sorry about that, folks. So you could see that I would have circled $4.25. Getting a little wobbly on me. All right, so how much did Jennifer spend? So that word each tells me everything that I need to know. Because if I have $4.25 per ticket, or each ticket costs $4.25, then I need 5 groups of $4.25. So that actually is going to be $4.25 times 5. All right, 5 times 5 is 25. Put my 5 down. Carry my 2. 5 times 2 is 10. Plus 2 is 12. Put my 2 down. Carry my 1. 5 times 4 is 20. Plus 1 is 21. And since this is a multiplication of decimals problem, I need to count the amount of decimals in my problem. 1, 2. And I need to start at the end of my answer and put that many in my answer. 1, 2. Boom. And can't forget my dollar sign here. So I know that she would end up spending $21.25. All right, and then last but... All right, and on to the extra practice for Thursday. All right, so we have 5/6, 7/30, 8/10, and we need to order them from greatest to least. Well, thanks to William for this problem. William put this problem together, so I think it's a very perfect problem for Thursday. It's a great problem. So we have to look at 6, 30, and 10, and we need to try to come up with our common denominator. And it may be difficult when you first look at it, but you should be able to see that all of them have 30 as a common denominator. So I'm going to leave 7/30 alone. I'm going to multiply 8/10 by 3 to get an equivalent fraction. 8 times 3 is 24. 10 times 3 is 30, so we'll get an equivalent fraction of 24/30. And then I'm also going to multiply 5/6 by 5. 5 times 5 is 25. And 6 times 5 is 30. So now I can easily put these in order from greatest to least. Holy moly, I threw you off there. From greatest to least. So my biggest fraction is going to be 5/6 because I know that's equivalent to 25/30. So I've got 5/6. Then my second biggest fraction is going to be 24/30, or its equivalent of 8/10. Because remember, I want to start from the original fraction. I found the equivalents only to help me solve the problem. And then finally, 7/30 is the smallest. All right. Once again, I have another order from least to greatest. Oh, it's least to greatest this time. But we need to convert our mixed numbers into improper fractions to help us better see that they all have a 1. Somebody was pointing out to me earlier that, say this is 1 5/7, 2 4/6, and 3 1/2. Well, that would be pretty easy, and I already just named them in order from least to greatest, right? Because the whole number is going to give you a pretty good clue of which one was larger, right? Because if you have 3 holes, that's obviously larger than 2 holes, which is obviously larger than 1 hole. But in this case, we have all the same hole, so we need to turn them into improper fractions and then find a common denominator to help us picture this a little bit better. So 7 times 1 is 7. Let me get my little loop-de-loop. 7 times 1 is going to get us 7. And then 7 plus 5 is going to get us 12. So 12, and I know I keep the same denominator, so that's 12/7. Loop-de-loop. 6 times 1 gets me 6. And then 6 plus 4 is going to give me 10. I'm going to put that 10, 6 there. And 1.5 is going to be 2 times 1 is 2. Plus 1 is 3, so that gives me 3 halves. And between 7, 6, and 2. Right now, I know that 6 times 2 can get me 12. But 7 doesn't have 12 as one of its multiples. I know that 2 times 7 can get me 14, but 6 doesn't have 14 as one of its multiples. So I have to try my last set, and I look at 7 times 6, and that's 42. But wait a minute, if it's 42, it ends in a 2, so it's divisible by 2. Okay, great. So let's start off with the 2 because that's going to be the hardest one to think about. I need to get to 42. So what times something in the ones place is going to get me a 2? Well, that's going to be a 1, right? Because 1 times, or 2 times 1 is going to get me 2. I'm going to just write it over here. And then what times 2 in the tens place is going to get me a 4? Because I'm trying to get to 42. So 2 times 2, and you guessed it, that's 21. All right, so then I need 21 on the top. 3 times 1 is going to give me 3. 3 times 2 is going to give me 6. So that's going to give me an equivalent fraction of 63/40 seconds. 63/40 seconds. And then 10/6. Well, I'm going to have to multiply 10/6 by 7. 10 times 7 is 70. 6 times 7 gets me 42. And then I'm going to have to multiply 12/7 by 6. 7 times 6 is going to give me 42. I know I'm getting them a little bit jumbled here. 7 times 6 is going to give me 42. And 12 times 6 is going to get me 72. So let's see here. Let's try to, sorry about that. Let's try to get a little bit more organization here. Okay, so I know that 1 1/2 or 3 halves gets me 63/40 seconds. So that means that 1 1/2 is my smallest fraction or mixed number. I know that 12 12/7 or 1 5/7 gets me 72/40 seconds. That's a little bit too big, so I'm going to have to go with 70/40 seconds. So 10/6 or 1 4/6 is my next largest fraction here. And then finally 1 5/7. All right. On to, on to 6/3 plus 8/10. Okay, cannot add these bad boys up unless I have a common denominator. I'm going to just do the old flip-flop, times 8, times 8, times 3, times 3. 6 times 8, 48. 3 times 8 gets me 24. 10 times 3 gets me 30. 8 times 3 obviously is going to be 24 because it's just the opposite of that one. All right. 8 plus 0 gets me 8. 4 plus 3 gets me 7. So 48 plus 30 gets me 78. 24 just comes straight across. Can't leave it like that. That's an improper fraction. So we need to turn that into a mixed number. Always put my numerator inside the box. Put my denominator on the outside of the box, which will also remain my denominator. So I'm going to think about this. Look at these two numbers, 24 and 78. They're similar to quarters. So 25 and 75. I would think of that as 1/4 and 3/4. I'm just estimating there. And I know that 1/4 can go into 3/4, or 25 can go into 75. 3 times. So I'm going to assume that 24 can go into 78 3 times. Let me try this off just to the side just to be sure, because I'm writing in pen, I can't erase. 3 times 4 gets me 12. Put your 2 down, carry your 1. 3, or 6, 7. Gets me 72, so it works. 3 times 24. 78 minus 72 leaves me with 6. 24 can't go into 6, so I'm left with my remainder now. So always remember that your answer becomes your whole number. Your remainder becomes your denominator. And your dividend becomes your denominator. I think I just said my answer becomes my denominator, and I meant to say numerator. Alright, but this can still reduce one more time because I can see that I have a 6 and a 24. The 3 is going to stay the same. Your wholes do not change, but your equivalent fraction can. So I know that 6 can go into 6 one time, 6 can go into 24 4 times. So we got 3 and 1/4. Alright, last but not least, we've got 27/15 minus 6/5. So to get a common denominator, I'm going to have to multiply this by 3. And I'm going to rewrite my problem as 27/15 minus 18/15. And then I'm going to go ahead and just do 27 minus 18 off to the side. 17 minus 8 gets me 9. That's all I have left. So I'm left with 9/15. Both are multiples of 3, so they can be divided by 3. 9 divided by 3 gets me 3. 15 divided by 3 gets me 5. So I'm left with 3/5. Thanks for sticking with me, guys. I know there was a lot of work in that one. I hope you checked your answers and you enjoyed it. Okay, so today your password is going to be #hello. Thank you, Adele, for serenading us in the beginning of this film. #hello.